Welcome to another edition of the SABC News COVID-19 Global Wrap, where myself, Babalolo Lephaka, and my colleague Busisiwe Khatebe bring you highlights of stories which dominated headlines with regards to the coronavirus pandemic. But before we delve into it, let us have a look at some global stats. The world currently sits at over 12 million confirmed cases, with over 7 million recoveries and over 550,000 deaths. South Africa has over 238,000 confirmed cases, with over 113,000 recoveries and over 3,700 deaths.
The Gauteng Health Department has refuted claims that there are 1.5 million dug-up graves prepared for COVID-19 related deaths. The news had raised eyebrows amid a surge of infections in the province. Gauteng has now overtaken the Western Cape as the epicenter of the COVID-19 pandemic in the country. Gauteng Premier David Makhura, as well as 6 members of the province's COVID-19 war room team, have contracted the virus. Northwest Premier Job Mogoro has been admitted in hospital as a precautionary measure after testing positive for COVID-19. The province's Cooperative Governance, Human Settlements and Traditional Affairs MEC, Gordon Gihakilwe, passed away due to COVID-19 related complications. Meanwhile, Western Cape Premier Alan Winde says he is doing well and will still execute his duties after also testing positive for COVID-19.
Hi, this is Alan Winde, Premier of the Western Cape. This is just a short note just to let you know that I have tested COVID-19 positive. I experienced some flu-like symptoms over the weekend, isolated myself, went for a test on Monday, have just received the results at being positive. I will now be isolating myself for the further 14 days as is required. I will continue to run cabinet and run business as I have done in the past. This is not the first time that I am isolating. I have done it twice before. So of course the Digicons continue this week. The PCC meeting with the President and other premiers carry on this week. The cabinets carry on this week. I will be just doing them from home, from my laptop. But also just a side note that I am a type 2 diabetic, which means that I must also be extra vigilant. And it's the message that we send to everybody in this province. When you have a comorbidity, please, you must be extra vigilant during this time.
And lastly, Higher Education Minister Blade Nzimande says the 2020 academic year is likely to spill over into the 2021 calendar. He adds that only 33% of the student population has been allowed back on campus under strict COVID-19 safety measures. They include final year students who require access to labs, technical equipment, data connectivity, and access to residence and private accommodation. On to the rest of Africa. The continent has now recorded over 545,000 confirmed COVID-19 cases, with over 265,000 recoveries and over 12,500 deaths. The decision by Kenya's Education Ministry to postpone the reopening of basic education to January 2021 has been met with mixed reactions. While some feel it is better to be safe than sorry, others have expressed concern that the decision will affect the morale of learners and teachers. After a hiatus of around 3 months, Nigeria relaxed restrictions aimed at curbing the spread of COVID-19. The airports for the capital Abuja and commercial hub Lagos reopened for flights. A handful of other airports will open on the 11th of July, and the remainder of airports will resume flights on the 15th of July for domestic travel. And lastly, the Africa Centers for Disease Control and Prevention has launched a consortium for COVID-19 vaccine clinical trial.
The spirit of this consortium is that it brings together all the expertise that exists on the continent so that we can act in a coordinated manner to ensure that vaccine trials are conducted appropriately on the continent. And the consortium will also allow us to engage with vaccine manufacturers across the world to identify those leading candidates that can actually go into clinical trials on our continent.
And in international news, the United States of America reached another grim milestone this week by surpassing the 3 million infection mark. Over 1.4 million people have recovered and over 135,000 have died. The US reported over 60,000 new COVID-19 infections on Wednesday alone, the biggest ever reported by a country in a single day. And as America continues to see record-breaking daily infections, some states have been forced into closing parts of the economy again. The worsening outbreak has also prompted some tough actions, with New Jersey adopting a stringent face mask order, while New York unveiled a plan allowing public school learners back into classrooms for only 2 or 3 days a week. And in Latin America, Brazil's President Jair Bolsonaro tested positive for COVID-19 this week. He is a figure widely known for downplaying the severity of the virus. In a country with the world's second worst outbreak, Bolsonaro told Brazilians that they did not need to worry, and he said he was feeling much better after taking what he said was his 3rd dose of hydroxychloroquine, as seen in a post on Twitter. And in Asia, after reporting 42 new cases on Thursday, Hong Kong announced the tightening of social distancing measures to deal with the fresh COVID-19 outbreak. Meanwhile, Japan's capital Tokyo recorded 224 new cases on Thursday, with more than half of the cases being found in young people in their 20s and 30s. In Europe, the United Kingdom is currently running 2 human trials as efforts to find a vaccine continues. One of the vaccines is being developed by London's Imperial College, which is in phase 1, while another being developed at Oxford University is further ahead in phase 2 and 3 trials. And finally, the World Health Organization on Tuesday acknowledged what is termed as evidence emerging of the airborne spread of COVID-19. This after a group of over 200 scientists from 32 countries presented evidence that they say shows that floating virus particles can infect people who inhale them.